Hello, everyone. Welcome to Atomo. It's Sunday, February 26th. I'm recording this one on February 26th. I am going to put it out, I believe, on Monday. So let's get into it. Let's share up the screen. And what do we got coming up here? There we go. Good old Google Map. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on Hungary in this video, and there's some things that are happening in Hungary. We know that they had an election. There was a government that was voted into Hungary that Europe didn't like. So Ursula von der Leyen and her band of merry globalists decided to cut funding and whatnot. Don't want to go down that path. But I wanted to look at, well, what's the geopolitical situation of Hungary right now? And also looking at, well, let's bring Turkey into view here. Turkey, okay, they're setting up to be a significant gas hub in the area. There's many pipelines that are transiting through it. I showed this in a previous video. But if you just Google and look at the number of pipelines transiting through Turkey, that it's sitting on a pretty decent infrastructure there. It's a crossroads. And with that, I believe natural gas is fungible, meaning if you have natural gas from a source, you can mix it with other natural gas. Again, I'm not a chemist in this. Somebody wants to correct me in the comments if that's doable. Unlike crude oil is very different. If you get an Urals medium from Russia with a Libyan sweet crude with a West Texas or the Saudi oil, Brent crude and all that, they're not fungible. There's different chemical content, sulfur contents in them. So they require different distillation practices in order to get them to the final product. With Turkey, though, there's options of having Qatar as a source and moving that up. That was the talk before, and there's a lot of fighting between Russia transiting gas through Turkey and potentially the collective West having Qatar transit their gas. That ship, I believe, has long since sailed already. There might be a way to bring Qatari gas up, but it's probably not going to be the USA that's going to have any say in that. Potentially, I showed you the video about the security situation, and as these Middle East countries look to cooperation with China, then most likely we might see them use China to support with the infrastructure in order to move these things forward. But what does that leave for Hungary? Well, let's take a look here. If we were to get gas from Turkey up through Bulgaria, then into Serbia, then we can eventually get it to Hungary and any other country within the EU that wants to have a decent gas source that may or may not have a Russian origin source to it. Okay, well, is Hungary and Serbia in working together? Well, let's take a look at some information here. Hello. Wang Yi meets with Hungarian Foreign Minister, Foreign Affairs and Trade. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade. This is on the 21st of this month, February 2023. And so they're talking a lot about helping Hungary. We're looking to forge a relationship. Again, here is Hungary saying we're not quite sure of this EU thing, but we'll shake hands with China and work together and look at important common understandings, especially energy security is quite important. So just scanning the article here. So they talk about the friendship. Hungary-China cooperation plays an important part in Hungary's foreign relations. So the again, high quality cooperation under the Belt and Road Initiative. Speed up construction of the Hungary-Serbia Railway. Oh, okay. Well, go back to our map. Hungary, Hungary, Serbia, Hungary. How would they form an alliance? Okay. Well, then that leaves Bulgaria. So I'm looking if we can get a transit from Turkey, maybe going up through Bulgaria, into Serbia, into Hungary. If Serbia and Hungary are already working together, that forms a bit of a framework to move gas into those areas. Again, as you move gas, if Hungary were to get a substantial source of gas, terminating with them, they can basically move it on to other countries in the EU and pay them a transit charge for that, which is not insignificant because you're putting in the work to move that forward. Cool. All right. So that gives us some information. It doesn't specifically say gas in this article, but if we want to put together a hypothesis on what might happen, wait, early ceasefire and lasting peace. That's another thing that Hungary is trying to do is they're going to play well, just well enough within the EU to kind of run the timer out on the Ukraine issue. So that's a hypothesis here. Working hypothesis is while the Ukraine problem continues and Hungary is under some scrutiny with the EU, well, they're going to create cooperation with those who want to cooperate. And perhaps if something really bad does happen, if EU starts to get all crotchety with Hungary, they'll have options open to them, especially if energy security is an important one. The other problem with Hungary, if I flip back to the map, it's landlocked. Huh. That brings up another problem. Serbia is also landlocked. Bulgaria is not landlocked. They got access to the Black Sea. And, well, depending if the Black Sea basically turns into a Russian enclave, because there's always the question of, well, what's going to happen with Odessa? Is Odessa, given if the Ukraine conflict goes on long enough, will Odessa eventually get pushed for and fall? Or some Odessans might say, screw it, we're done. We'll actually join Russia and do a referendum. I don't know. I can make conjecture here. But Bulgaria is an interesting piece of the puzzle. So over to here. Okay, cool. So let's put the Bulgaria piece together. Bulgaria begins working on Serbia gas link? What? What are they working on a Serbia gas link? This is Reuters, so it's decent enough news. This is February, early this month, February. So this is recent. I just stumbled upon it. I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if there was a gas trend? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay, so, Hungary, Serbia working together, China supporting it. You got a gas pipeline being installed. Well, that leaves, we have to transit it through Bulgaria. Well, let's see. Oh, sorry, I said Bulgaria then. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Bulgaria further cut reliance on Russian supplies with deal to tap Turkey's natural gas system. Lo and behold, so sorry, I was getting a little ahead of myself here. So yes, Bulgaria is getting into play. Serbia and Hungary, through cooperation with China, working on railways. Gas lines are not that far off. They're actually quite easy to build. So once supply starts going into Bulgaria, then, they can start pushing that through Hungary or Serbia to Hungary. Then that will solve that particular problem. Then there's the problem of the landlockedness. So if we take a look here, the border between Romania and Bulgaria is an interesting one. That has the Danube River. So I talked about this before. So this creates a setup. So if we want to look at board position, if this is a board game, if Hungary were to have unfettered access to the Black Sea by virtue of the Danube, Cool. That creates some relief on the landlockedness of that country. I haven't really checked because I know there's a river that runs up through here. I haven't checked this one here, the Tizra. Okay, my pronunciation is bad. I don't know how well that river is able to support flows through it. I haven't followed it through to see, because we know that there's shenanigans happening in Moldova. They're having some governmental problems with this northern part, this Tiraspol in this area. Still has old remnants of the Soviet times. They held on. Moldova also was looking at potentially joining the EU. Of course, we have to get through a legal hurdle that Moldova has in her constitution, a stipulation saying that they're going to remain neutral, probably because they got a whole bunch of Russian forces sitting here in Transnistria area. So that gives some impetus for Russia to close the gap between Kherson all the way to Odessa and maybe connect with that area in Moldova. So Moldova is like, oh, maybe this is a thing, and you're seeing changes within their government. Because if Odessa falls, then most likely this area of the Ukraine that you see here bumps up against the Danube. Okay, and that can be a problem for some countries, depending on which way Ukraine wants to lean. They can create problems with that shipping in that area of the Danube. Okay. Because the Danube doesn't quite pop out. Let me zoom out, see how far. Yeah, Romania has this little area secured as well. And the Danube does this turn here. So it's not that, and I don't think there might be any canal works in there. I'm just kind of looking, kind of talking through the hypotheses a bit here, seeing, okay, what are the strategic elements that we could have. Because what would happen if Moldova completely flips to Russia? I think that's a bit really onto maybe a little too much hypotheses at this point. But again, in summary, Turkey becoming a gas transit hub, Bulgaria saying, how about we get in on this? And Serbia is like, probably would get on it as well. I didn't quite check for Serbia. Definitely Hungary would be needing some easy gas. And then once you do that, then, hey, Austria, hey, Slovakia, hey, Czech, you want to get in on this? Because Germany is kind of going, well, Germany wants to do everything all green, so damn those fossil fuels, but then you watch Germany's industry all evaporate into nothing over time, or they're going to complain, no, the USA is taking away all our industry. Well, yeah, if you can't put energy into your industry, they're going to go somewhere else. China, USA, for example. Okay, so there we have it. We're seeing, again, popping back to this one, we're seeing cooperation between Hungary and China. We're seeing Bulgaria getting some gas links set up, and that could lead us to potentially getting some new transits coming through. There is talk about some transits coming through up in Italy. There was I think a Gazprom refinery somewhere in Italy down in the boot here that was, I believe, nationalized. So if that could be a point of contention, then you could see, if the race is on, if the first Italy or Hungary, for example, if Hungary gets a secure supply of gas, they can start to resell that and build a market around that if Italy is a bit slow to get that into play. So we could be seeing a bit of a gas rush here, kind of a new frontier to get this energy made available that is not Russian, with an asterisk on it. Okay. So stuff to keep in mind. And as more pieces come in, I'll do more videos on that. Again, thank you very much for your attention on this and have a good day.